Hi, everybody. Al Bernstein here with another one of our boxing hangouts. Though today it mixes boxing with another sport. In fact, on this hangout, I'm going to mix two of my great passions. One is youth boxing. As you know, I work with the Amateur Boxing Association in the United States on a lengthy basis to try and help them because I believe so much in the power of what boxing can do for young men and women and help them focus on a better life. The other passion that, as you may know, I have is the Chicago Cubs. I have been a lifelong Chicago Cubs fan. And so we're going to talk on this hangout about and with someone who has brought together those two topics in one event. The event is called the Main Event. It will be on May 25th in Chicago. It's run by Respect 90 Foundation. The man who runs it on behalf of the great Joe Maddon, manager of the Chicago Cubs, is Rick Vaughn. And let me bring Rick in now to help us talk about what is going to be a terrific event that I will be attending. Rick, how are you? And I want to say thank you, first of all, for inviting me to come and participate in your event.
No, I'll tell you what, we are so excited to have you here. When I told Joe that we were able to get this, and I know with your schedule, it's not easy, but when it actually just fell at the right time, he was very excited, very grateful. This is going to make this a pretty official event as far as we're concerned.
Well, I'm so excited to come. It's an event that now I think this is the fourth annual. Am I correct?
It is. Yeah. Fourth one.
And you, in the course of this event, and let me explain to the folks what this event actually is. You have some amateur boxing matches and appearances by many of the Chicago Cub players. And as we just said, I'll be on hand to MC the event and to mingle with fans and take pictures and schmooze about boxing and sports and all the rest. And also there will be a great auction. And I know you've got some great auction items for fans to deal with too.
Yeah, you know what? It's a really different night. When you walk into a bank lobby, and the Wintrust Bank Building is one of these old grand lobbies, and you walk in there and you see a boxing ring in there, it kind of blows you away. Just the first time you walk in there, it'll kind of take your breath away a little bit because it's such a different experience. And then once you get in there and you get acclimated, and the Cubs guys will be there, a good number of the players will be there. I mean, the Cubs are not only a great club. The good thing about that group is, Al, is that there's so many of them that have their own foundations, are involved in the community. So they all go to each other's events. You know, Joe just went to Rizzo just had an event on Wednesday night. And so there's a lot of that goes on. And so they'll all be there. The event itself, it's just a really different, you don't go to an event like this very often where you're seeing, young men trying to get their lives going and get into, get some discipline and go, like you say, go on to maybe the Olympic team or whatever. But it's so cool to see this going on right in this area, in the lobby of a bank. I mean, it's a great event. We do have some really nice experiences. And in fact, Showtime gave us a terrific package that we'll be auctioning off to be able to go to one of the fights, airfare, hotel, the whole deal. And we've got a couple of those sort of packages. We can get some of Chicagoans out of the winter and get them down in next January down to Florida, down to Tampa, stay out on Clearwater Beach and have dinner with Joe. And there's a number of those kind of things, and we're really excited about, especially.
Hold on, I'm reaching for my checkbook right now for that one. So hold on, wait, I'm counting up. Hold on, I'm going to go to my bank statement and see if I got enough money for that one. That's all great stuff, and of course, the chance to see all the Cub players and see Joe is really special for the people that show up to this. And you've raised now over $400,000, have you not, for these youth organizations and gyms in Chicago? And I can tell you from firsthand experience that that's an amount of money that makes a huge difference for those kind of gyms.
It is. We work with the Crushers Club and the Chicago Youth Boxing Club up there, and for instance, I think 2 years ago, the Crushers Club, their roof was falling in. And so the money that we were able to generate for them for this event, they built a brand new roof on their facility. So, these are kids that they need some help. They need our help. and to keep this thing going. And Joe loves boxing, loves the discipline part of that sport, and thinks that, and I'm so happy that he came up with the idea, because it's a real need, and it's a great way to reach kids that are at risk,
And I think it's one of many things that has endeared him to the Chicago community. Look, obviously Joe's tenure there has been good because he has been winning, and that at the end of the day is a major thing, and the thing that will always put you over the top. But just winning doesn't always make you a part of the community that people respect. And Joe, through things like this, with your help, and we'll talk about what you do with Joe in a second, what he's done with this is made himself a true pillar of the community.
Yeah, he's been, the foundation, we focus on stuff in Tampa Bay, at-risk children and families in Tampa Bay, Chicago, Hazleton, Pennsylvania, which is where Joe is from, and Mesa, where the Cubs have spring training. And also Joe lived there for like 15 years when he was with the Angels. So those are the four geographic areas. And let me tell you something, Joe, in every one of those areas, Joe gets it, and he gets involved, and he doesn't just write a check. He's always got great ideas for me, and he keeps me running because they come one after another. And he's one of these people where if you talk to Joe for 10 minutes, and it's amazing, I'll be there and he's meeting people, and they'll leave, and I think they feel like they just met their best friend. He just has that way to connect with people, that he cares about them. He listens to what they're saying, and it shows during the conversations. He's just not, signing an autograph, shaking a hand, and moving on.
And the two of you have had a unique relationship because you've been involved with him doing his charitable work and helping him in all his other endeavors. So how many years have you and Joe been together?
Well, we were 9 years with the Rays. I was the VP of public relations, and he was our manager. And we went through such a great transformation there, to go from where we went in 06 and 07 and go to the World Series in 08. It was phenomenal. And so I've known him really since 06. And we've, even when he left and went to the Cubs and I stayed with the Rays for a couple of years, we stayed in close contact. I kind of help him with everything. And with Joe, it's a lot because, his mind never rests. He's always, I love to go to Joe with an idea, and I'll say, hey, what if we do this? And you know what he'll say most every time? He'll say, hey, that's great, but let's also do this, and let's do this. I said one time to his agent, Alan Nero, I said, Alan, he's one of those people. He looks at the same thing you and I are looking at, but he sees something totally different. And Alan said to me, no, Rick, he sees 3 or 4 different things. And it's so right. That was a perfect way to describe Joe. Really was.
You just made an interesting point about, and we're talking with Rick Vaughn, who is the executive director of Respect 90 Foundation. On May 25th, a great event, the main event, which I will be at to MC and host, where they raise money for youth boxing in Chicago. If you want to go to this event, you can go to the Cubs Charity website. What is that website, Rick?
It is www.cubs.com/main event. And that'll get you right to, there are tickets still available, and you can go right there and get them online.
Yeah, a couple of tickets available. And you talked about Joe Maddon having vision about these things when people see it. I guess that is intriguing to me because in a way that may be one of those qualities that makes him such a good baseball manager, because at the end of the day, baseball managing is a very unique job, where your vision of what may happen, what could happen, how people are around you, you have to manage all these people on a second-by-second basis. The way he looks at things is, in fact, a big part of how he does his job, isn't it?
It definitely is. When he was with the Rays and he's doing the same thing with the Cubs, his whole thing is about trust. If you don't trust me, we won't have honest communication, and we're just wasting our time here. So he likes people he wants them to feel comfortable with what they're doing. He's always been that way. We never had a dress code when I was with the Rays. His thing was, he said, if you look hot, if you think it makes you look hot, wear it. But we never, he wanted the players to be comfortable. That's just an example. Like, Why do they have to wear 3-piece suits when they get on a plane? They go through an airport at 2 o'clock in the morning. They go to a hotel lobby at 2:30 in the morning, and nobody even sees them. And they're sitting on the plane for 3 hours in a suit. That's not what he's all about. So, and he's done the same thing with the Cubs. He wants them to be themselves, wants them to get out of their comfort zone a little bit. Once, that's where you get that trust thing. And I think anybody that played for Joe will say that, I would say they've never had a communication alley like they do with Joe, with that system. It's a very comfortable thing. And it's great to watch it work with the Rays and now work with the Cubs,
Yeah. And, it's worked fairly well with the Cubs. I think we can say, so far so good. I think pretty good. Speaking as one of the millions of downtrodden whose life is now complete, that's all. I mean, my wife might take issue with the fact that perhaps she should have been the thing that completed me, but we'll deal with it. We'll probably be a marital therapist working on that one in the near future. Now the event itself, I know we're going to have some Cub players there. When will you find out some of the Cub players, or maybe some of them that may show up?
Probably won't know till we get a little bit closer, but I can tell you from past experience, just about everybody on the roster will be there. We normally get anywhere from 18 to 23 guys there. So all the coaches will be there. Theo will be there. All of the Cubs brass will be there. And he's another one. Theo is so involved in the community, does so many good things. And so there's another thing where Joe will go to all of Theo's events and vice versa. So you'll see him there, and they're there, they're approachable, and they're hanging out like everybody else watching boxing.
Yeah, that's the one thing about this event that struck me in talking to you about it, and my sister Adie, who handles things on my end and who's worked with you so closely. I can tell this is an event where that casual feel makes it a very special event, because you get to really interact with the people there. And I'm looking forward to it, not only for the fans, because we appreciate them coming out and supporting this, but also with you and Joe and the Cub players on hand and all the other folks that are there that are your regular supporters. And I know there's going to be a lot of people there from the boxing community that are benefited by this, and some of the local fighters. I hope you're going to have Adrian Granados there. I don't know if you have him planned yet.
We had him there last year.
Oh, was he last year? Because he's a big Cubs.
Yes, and I am trying to get in touch with his guys to get him back this year, and I haven't had any luck with the contact.
Okay, I'm going to see what I can do to help you, because Adrian,
he was there last year and he had a blast.
Yeah, he's a great guy, a really good fighter, and I've announced a number of his fights. And he's one of those people who has come this close to winning a world title, and unfortunately has faced some adversity in terms of the matchups he gets and all the rest of it. So hopefully his dream will end the way the Cubs' dream did with the world championship. Is there any message that you want to send out to the folks that are watching about this event and what it truly means, and how important it is to you and Joe?
Yeah, it's incredibly important. We get pulled in a lot of different directions, and Joe just wants to help. A lot of people that run foundations, you have an accountant right next to you and saying, well, you can't spend, can only. Now, Joe's like, look, we have this money, let's use it. I want it out in the community. So this is one of the ways that we're doing that, where he feels very strongly about it. It's not only, we're not only helping kids at risk, but we're also promoting a great sport that, is a great discipline for kids, so we look at it in a couple of different ways. We do different things in different cities. We just got finished building a field here in Florida 2 weeks ago for kids with disabilities, a baseball field. We partnered with Cal Ripken Jr.'s foundation, and we put a really cool artificial field down for kids.
Can you imagine what a thrill that is going to be for them?
Oh my gosh, we had our opening. We had opening day. I went to opening day. Joe couldn't go because obviously the Cubs were playing, and it was down here, and it was amazing to see the look on it just as they got to the field, because the field that they had fallen into disrepair, and they actually couldn't even play last year. They weren't able to have a season. So we found out about it, got with Cal, and we were like, how would you not help this, right? So so we do a bunch of different things in different markets, but this is our love right now. And the other thing is, Joe was pretty close with Angelo Dundee. He lived down here in Clearwater, and in fact, we had Angelo at a couple of our events, and we mourned his passing like everybody else did. But Joe and Angelo really clicked, and so that was another thing that really got Joe motivated to want to help in help boxing.
That's great. Well, on behalf of the boxing community, I can tell you that we're thrilled that you guys do this, and my sister and I have known about it for a year or two, and we wanted to help out, and I'm glad that this year I can help out, and I will be there front and center to MC the event and meet and greet everybody, and I'm looking forward to an exciting time.
Well, we're so happy to have you. I can't tell you how excited Joe is, and it's going to make it a really cool event. So I can't wait.
So we're going to have fun, and I'll do my very best not to genuflect when I see Joe, so that it can be, it'll feel like a normal relationship. Hey, listen, you are great. Tell Joe I said hello, and we will see you guys for the event May 25th. And if you don't have your tickets, go to Cubs Charity. Tell us the website one more time for that.
Yeah, it's basically Cubs.com, and then it's / Maddon, and that'll take you to the event.
Perfect. And then you can get the remaining tickets if hopefully you can get in there and get a ticket to this event. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we're really looking forward to it. Rick, thank you so much for joining us.
Al, thank you so much.
So that's our version of Boxing Hangouts for today. We'll be back again with more in the future. But for now, go Cubs!